can think about application of what we can do to the everyday life and to the industry in the following way. Can we come up with something that can mimic humans so well that humans will not be able to tell the machine from the human? We can be sitting in nearby rooms, we can be talking to one another, but can we say whether we're talking to a human or to a machine or not? The moment we cannot say that will mean that we have come up with a machine that can really be an artificial intelligence. That time, in the 1950s, it was science fiction. How can we? What happened later is that it is only in 2013 when the first group of humans and scientists in Eastern Europe, mostly from Ukraine, came up with a chatbot, a software tool. They named it Eugen Bussmann model. For the first time, according to the rules set by that competition, the majority of the experts could not tell the machine from human. So it took 60 years to get to the point when the first machines that could really be human appeared. And still today, we don't have the machines that can repeat the same test, showing that they are absolutely like humans in a stable way. So we don't have a software tool that we can bring in this room and with very high probability make sure that the majority of you will not be able to tell the machine from the human. But probably within the next 10 years, these machines will appear. 1970s, expert systems. That was the decade when people thought that, okay, artificial intelligence can help us gather the knowledge that we have in various areas, create the decision trees, and this is how machines can be useful. So the libraries that we should keep in our heads now can be in the computers, and software can help us automate industries with expert systems. So if you go to big libraries, big organizations, starting from the mid of 1970s, you will see those expert systems, and if you read the articles, they will be about expert systems as the future of automation in all industries. Next decade, artificial intelligence in Rails will come to the industry. So it is just 30 years ago when the first applications of what is called now artificial intelligence started helping businesses. Some of you might have heard about Digital Equipment Corporation, DEC. That was a very, very big name at the time, louder than Google or IBM now, and they started applying artificial intelligence systems in their work. And remember, at that time it was mostly expert systems. Next decade, a huge event, 1997. Deep Blue, a computer, beats Kasparov in chess. Huge event, and it had a dramatic influence on the application of artificial intelligence, because for the first time, after Alan Turing in the 1950s, normal people in the world noticed that this former academic industry is something that can transform lives and transform how we work and challenge something that had not been ever challenged. Kasparov, the person who plays chess better than anyone in the world. And a little computer, not far from him, that beat Kasparov. After 1997, this has happened many, many times in other industries, and now it is not a surprise. Today, people, including the ones who make decisions in the industry, are pretty sure that machines can be better than even top 0.1% of humans in their areas. But in 1997, that was a huge news. End of the last century, return of the neural networks. A very interesting thing happened. Neural networks were already very old, but with the technological progress and new capabilities that new computers and new software brought in, suddenly we all realized that neural networks is something with huge power. It indeed can do a lot that humans can do, sometimes even more. It can faster come up with the decisions that we will probably not understand how happen, but we will see the results. And that is the time when new neural networks were born. We're still riding that wave. Machine learning that is applied now in many, many, many fields to extract knowledge from data to come up with decision-making support, mostly result from this new wave of neural network capabilities that is still there now. So today, we separate two types of AI, and each of them is getting the first applications in the industry. Many of these types of AI have already been applied in the industry many times. Narrow AI. What is narrow AI? It's artificial intelligence that helps us solve particular tasks that they are entitled to solve. For instance, you log into your banking application, have a chatbot, and that chatbot can help you find some information about support in the bank or your bank account or transfer funds. But can you speak about weather or politics with this chatbot? No, you cannot. It is not intended to serve as another human. It is intended to solve the given list of tasks. So this is narrow AI. And in narrow AI, we have progressed very far. I will speak a bit about that a bit more, but narrow AI can now bring real cost saving, real new opportunities to fintech to banking. Wide AI, general AI, something that people still dream about. Can we replace a human? Can we create a software that will be able to process exceptions which are outside of the area of what the software is intended for? Much more difficult to do. Big money is invested into that. We are still not where these tools are applied to the industry and bring tangible benefits right now. We'll be there within the next decade for sure, maybe 7 to 10 years, probably yes. So what are the areas of AI that we can think about when we consider an application of artificial intelligence to our technologies? This is one of the classifications. You see a lot of areas. I would say that the area number 4, machine learning, is the one which is most widely applied, and the majority of tools that allow you to process data and to get benefits out of that is machine learning nowadays. But this is the most promising area. Not sure. We'll speak about one more area very soon. A lot of application of artificial intelligence. This is the picture from 2018 from World Economic Forum report. A lot of companies have been surveyed and they were asked in which areas do you get benefits from artificial intelligence right now. So the 3 areas were mentioned, and I would say that approximately half of the companies in large businesses use artificial intelligence at least to try to do some proof of concept work, extract benefits in those 3 areas. This correlates very well with what we see in the industry, both in the company that is a supplier of artificial intelligence tool, where I'm CEO, and also in the digital transformation chapter of the largest Singapore Technology Federation where I'm on board. We see a lot of digital transformation projects. Approximately half of the large companies in the developed world now have already tried to apply artificial intelligence to work with data, to work on productivity, which means that general managers, operational managers are the customers because they want to see the cost savings, and that's what they do. And also cost benefits directly where finance teams are the main purchasers of AI solutions nowadays. You can find a lot of publications on the internet, for instance. This is the screenshot of one of the recent ones I found. And then many applications of artificial intelligence will be listed. Now, what are the key ones? You can list 10, 15 starting from customer support, from fraud protection at the bank, from loans processing, from KYC and ML to much deeper applications which are closer to decision making. Is artificial intelligence helping to make decisions already, or does artificial intelligence make it automatically? Probably no, not yet. Are we going there? Yes, definitely, because the vast majority of the information that decision makers use to make decisions already today is prepared with the use of artificial intelligence. Very soon, artificial intelligence will account for the majority of this information. So we as humans will still have some job in that space, but that job will augment what artificial intelligence can do, versus the situation today when artificial intelligence is augmenting what we can do. So there are 3 main areas where artificial intelligence is applied in banking, insurance, and in general for financial institutions. Transform the relationships. The easiest example is the chatbot, but there are many more examples. China is very strong in that space, and in many other areas. If you come to China, you will see quite a lot of companies that are huge. They are doing something for the internal market, not for external market yet. And we notice that in this area, the way how you interact with the customers in the financial industry China is advanced and different from what we see in the Western world, while, say, Singapore and many countries around Singapore, we're applying the technologies that are in line with what we see in the Western world, including the US. Now, maybe it will change, and we'll see a dramatic mix of those two worlds, but today, China and the rest of the world are quite different. Data. This is something which is mostly clear to the majority of decision makers in the industry. You have so much data. Extract data, get value, use data mining tools, use data analytics, and come up with an optimization of what you do. And then processes. This is something we'll talk about right now, because I would say that artificial intelligence for improvement of how the processes are organized at financial services industry is the hottest topic right now. It's where the majority of things are happening today. So one of the areas I talked about is natural language processing. So this is the area where we can expect dramatic breakthroughs in the next years. It's happening already now. In order to work with data, with a process that involves information coming from people, we need to understand it. And we need to understand it as well as humans can understand it. It means that we not only need to be able to read the documents in various languages, in various structures, we need to be able to process unstructured information, and we need to be able to handle automatically the situations in the language that we have never heard about. Why is it so difficult? One fun example. Well, imagine we are teaching the computer to understand the combinations of two words, where one word determines some characteristic of the second one. And then there is olive oil. What is olive oil? It is the oil made of olives, right? Okay, fine. And then there is peanut oil. What is peanut oil? Oil made of peanuts. Easy. Maybe I'm guessing something. Maybe the first word means what the oil is made of, right? And the second word is a product. Should we teach the machine to work it this way? Let's try coconut oil. Same thing, looks like it works. But then, surprisingly, baby oil. Is it oil made of babies? No, we don't make oil of babies. It's an oil made for babies. This is a funny example, but this is very important, because think about it. How come that humans, all of us, can understand that baby oil is oil for babies, but coconut oil is oil made of coconuts? This is because we have all that legacy of our knowledge and wisdom and how we grew up. We know that it is not possible to make all of babies, but you can make it of coconuts. It's very difficult to teach a computer, teach artificial intelligence, process these situations in advance. In many other areas of artificial intelligence today, researchers face the same problem. Take self-driving cars. It's already more than 30 years ago that the first projects when automatic cars appear on the road have been there. Have they advanced? On the one hand, yes. You see very fancy cars in the US and many other countries that drive around, you can try it. On the other hand, still there are so many situations that humans and drivers can process today, but computers cannot. You come to a roundabout, you're driving a car, and you see something, it's in the country where you have snow, and you see something white and big. As a human, you can say, okay, it's probably a snowman. And snowmen do not move, you do not stop, you go for it. But the computer has never seen a snowman. And this is one of the meanings of the situation that we have to process, how to teach a computer. So this is where machine learning is going to add tremendous value to natural language processing and image recognition and all those areas. And in the next years, probably less than 10 years, we will see a shift in the quality of how these systems work. And we can easier apply artificial intelligence to the financial industry, tasked to process the exceptions. This is where we are moving now. There are some areas that have already passed that stage of exception management efficiently, and they are very widely applied in the financial industry. Many of you must have heard about robotic process information. Robotic process information is building scripts that automate easy, repetitive tasks in the financial industries. So someone wants to open an account in a bank. They bring in a lot of documents. A person sits and checks that all the documents are there, they are in the right format, the signatures are there, and they do all those less intelligent but very important work before passing the documents to those who process it from an intelligent point of view. Now there are companies doing robotic process information that can automate all those tasks. And they are very, very efficient. In the recent years, many of these companies have raised huge rounds of financing and have become multi-billion-dollar companies. You might have heard about UiPath, about Automation Anywhere, about WorkFusion. This is a very big segment that works already in many, many names. And I would say that in 3 years from now, more than 90% of financial institutions will already have implemented robotic process automation. So it's the innovation that is happening. At the same time, automating knowledge tasks is something that is starting right now. 3 years ago, if you ask the financial institutions whether they have tried artificial intelligence to automate knowledge work, where you need to apply intelligence and you need to process information from the point of view of extracting data from that information and reading it and making decisions accordingly, the majority of the financial institutions will have told you that no, we're not there. Today, probably 20 to 30% of the financial institutions are already trying to cut costs, to increase accuracy of extraction information using knowledge management tools with artificial intelligence. In 3 years from now, I expect that half of the financial institutions in the world will already be using these technologies. So, why is it so important? About 80% of the information that financial institutions process comes in the unstructured form. Information can be fully structured, like you have an IT passport, and you know how the passport looks like. You know where to take the passport number. So it is a no-brainer. You don't need artificial intelligence to extract the passport number from the picture of the passport. Then there are semi-structured documents, for instance, invoices. We all have invoices in the fintech industry, and the invoices are semi-structures. They can be very different. As an issuing organization, you can make an invoice look as you want it to look. But still, you know that somewhere there is this total IT that you can extract. And then there is a lot of unstructured information. Powers of attorney, minutes of the board meeting. So extracting needed information from this type of information is something that is very hot now, and you can save a lot of money to financial institutions, and new fintech companies that are digital by design are trying to use as much of that. That will lead to another problem that is being solved right now: how to organize knowledge that we automatically extract from the information so that it is efficient. Also, in 3 years from now, we'll have big improvements here, but already today we use some of these tools. And finally, we will get from data, information, knowledge, this is what we extract today, to wisdom, which means that we know how to organize and use this knowledge. So wisdom is something that artificial intelligence will bring to the industry in the next 10 years. Today we are between information and knowledge layer, and this layer can save you millions of dollars if you are a bank, an insurance company, a big financial institution. In the next 10 years, we will see the next breakthroughs that will bring us closer to the wisdom management, artificial intelligence as a very, very applicable tool to help automate financial services industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your sharing, Dr. Max Moravec. Và thưa quý vị, vừa rồi là những chia sẻ để mà chúng ta hiểu rõ hơn về trí tuệ nhân tạo AI, cũng như là rất là nhiều những ứng dụng hiện nay và những con số thống kê nữa. Và tiếp đến chúng ta sẽ cùng nhau nhìn vào thực trạng, đó chính là Việt Nam của chúng ta, một thị trường tiềm năng của các công ty fintech trong việc phát triển các sản phẩm công nghệ mới. Và ngay sau đây xin mời quý vị chúng ta sẽ cùng theo dõi nội dung chia sẻ về một số kinh nghiệm ứng dụng fintech tại Singapore, góp phần thúc đẩy hệ sinh thái fintech tại Việt Nam, do tiến sĩ Gordon Kang, CEO Fintech Academy Singapore sẽ cùng chia sẻ. We would like to invite Dr. Kwon to share about fintech application experience in Singapore.
Greetings from Singapore. We are very honored to have the support of the wonderful ministries and the People's Committee so that we can work very closely together with HCA. We are here in Singapore is only 2 hours away, so we are very close neighbors. And we are happy to be able to share the knowledge, training, as well as participate in an event like this. I am an educator, and I spend my whole life in education. So I'm very happy when I see our Vietnamese friends very eager to learn. Last year, I spoke to 26 universities and 900 school principals. And this is fantastic. I spent 17 years in the Ministry of Education in Singapore, 17 years at Nanyang Technological University. And I'm so happy now to be able to work with you on FinTech. Well, when it first started, we said, is a digital mission impossible? But you see how fast all of us are leapfrogging. How fast your people, our people are all using the mobile phone to do anything and everything. Once upon a time, we used the phone only to communicate. But now you realize that we use the phone for everything. Although it is said that the digital transformation for APAC in banking, finance, and all the rest is still in the early stage. But I can see from this morning, all of you are ready to charge, ready to go. And our young people are born digital natives. And we don't have to do much. They will all go in and embrace technology. Now, do you realize that every day, 103 billion messages are sent over WhatsApp, WeChat, and 269 billion mails, emails are happening every day. What does that mean for us? It means it's going to affect the way we live, the way we play, the way we work. And therefore, we must be very, very cognizant of all these that is happening around us. So, what does this mean? It means that all these platforms are slowly becoming centralized. And when they are centralized, that means data is the new oil. Data is so important, so powerful. Are we using it? Our keynote speaker, Mark, just now mentioned that all this data, all this knowledge, if we do not know how to analyze them and make good use of them, then we are losing out a lot. He uses the word wisdom. It is very true that in artificial intelligence, we may be able to collect a lot of data, get our machines to automate a lot of things, but beyond that, how intelligent is artificial intelligence? So yes, we have got all these platforms to collect a lot of data. How we use the big data, how we integrate them is very important for decision making, for predictive analysis, for forward planning. So let me tell you a joke. A father was super angry when there were a lot of mails coming in for baby products. And guess what? The online store is the first to find out that his daughter is pregnant. And they started sending all the baby samples. Look at what data can do. So the father didn't know, the father was complaining, and it turned out, yes, his daughter is pregnant. Why? Because she ordered online. So you what? And we don't realize that data is actually this point. Mark talked about artificial intelligence. Now I show you the big data is there. So what must we do? cybersecurity. So that calls a lot on cybersecurity. The onus is on us on how we are making sure that we are secure. So access, transfer, storage safely, our informed startups, etc. Bear in mind that this is utmost important to build something for the consumers. So it brings us to when you look at the athletes, lots of them, they're all out there. Question: are we ensuring that these are sophisticated enough to protect our users? So that cybersecurity part is important. Next, we are also looking at how all platforms will serve needs. Once upon a time, what do you do when you want to send funds? You have got to go to the bank, fill up a telegraphic transfer form, and then for the bank to work with holding banks and then send the money to another country. And with fintech, you just need to key here in real time. The money comes. Alright? So you look at with fintech, we can send payments, you can collect money, all through virtual accounts. Now, if we have all these done, a lot of potential. Just now, our banking can quickly transform the whole landscape. It is true. And it is very heartening to know that all of us here are there and are heading towards the fintech direction. So, question, when you've got all these conveniences here, and all the startups are very hopeful, what other measures must you take? Is that $32.5 million so as to reach out? That they have a lot of funding. Second time, right? Yeah, congratulations. So you find that fintech and financial services are coming together. They are already here together for the past few years. But that space has got a lot of innovation from startups. So what we see is that we've got a lot of cashless payments and remittances. Just now you've got the statistics from the previous speakers. And you've got peer-to-peer lending. We have even now got facial recognition. And I tell you, this is Tencent, China's WeChat. I mean, we started with WeChat Pay. Now we have got more than that. Ping An, for example. You know, when cars get into an accident, what happens? Get in an accident, people will exchange their license, they take some pictures, they go and report. And then what happens is that it probably takes 2 weeks before the insurance company come and talk to you, come and evaluate the damage, and some even take 1 month. Whereas with fintech, at the accident scene, you snap, 5 pictures, submit, and then of course you exchange your license, take down notes, and then after that you drive your car to the site, talk about it. By the time you finish all these, it is possible that the insurance company can settle your claim while you are at the accident scene. That fast. So fintech presents a lot of solutions for customer experience. So the 3 most important things that some of your speakers mentioned this morning are customer experience, transform the processes, like just now Mark mentioned the robotic process automation. So you transform your process, and of course you are able then to transform your business models. So what happened now is we are looking at something you want to invest? Okay, you buy a property, maybe, okay? The rest of your cash, you leave it with the bank. Or you might look at the stock market, all right? But now, with FinTech, everything can be done together, all at the same platform. So an example, in Singapore, we have a lot of robo-advisory apps. Once upon a time, only you got $10 million, $10 million US dollar, then you become a private client. And then you got a relationship manager for your private banking purposes. Now, with all these robo-advisory apps, even you only $1,000 US dollar, you can already invest. You can already buy your ETF, your securities, whatever you want to buy, you have access to it. Why? Because 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, 1,000, you add up, you have got your $10 million portfolio. And the best part is, the artificial intelligence behind it will be able to service all the clients. So robo-advisory has become something which our millennials are likely to put their money in. Another example of a robo-advisory that is very much used by our millennials, they actually can transact on the phone. Do you want to just click on the video so that we can take a look at Crystal? Crystal.ai is one of our first sandbox offered by MAS, and they managed to clinch the first license to do the AI. You can't do that? Okay, no worries. We move on. We'll give you all these video links and all, and if you all need it, you need our sites, we will make it available for all of you. Alright? Okay, let's move on. Right, so we can see that the trends in the financial sector goes beyond mobile banking, as how our speaker this morning has shown you that we have got your 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and we are now into 4.0. So what happens? It is well said that we have got to look at compliance, and I emphasize security. So when we want to look at compliance and security, naturally we need to do RegTech as well. And in Singapore, we use a lot of chatbots for our finance industry. You don't believe it? Our chatbot sells more insurance policies than an insurance agent. Alright, so you find that it's getting more and more intelligent and a lot more can be done. Alright, so let's see what else we can do. So our chatbot there, our Dixie robots there are doing a lot of work. And you find that in the finance, fintech sector, we are moving very fast. Alright? Singapore, we have a fintech hub. That's where my office is. If you come to Singapore, we are at Robinson Road. You can come to our fintech hub. And you find that the fintech tools are very, very well embraced by our millennials. And now I want to talk about B. B for blockchain. Now a lot of people think that blockchain is only for Bitcoins. Not true. Blockchain is a technology. And this blockchain technology can be used even for agriculture, for logistics, for medical, healthcare. So we have moved beyond fintech. It sounds like, oh, fintech is only for financial technology. No. We are using blockchain technology to be able to apply in other industries as well. Once upon a time, our traditional food ordering, we go there, queue up, and eat there, right? Now, no. You can even order online. You can order online, sit there, and get your food, or you can bring it home. done every day now. Do you also use? You use GrabFood, right? Yeah? So it's the same thing. Same for movies, for supermarkets. We are all going beyond. We are going beyond the usual customer experience. Now, so when just now one of the speakers talked about Industry 4.0, we see that we are embracing A, B, C, D, E. And that's what FinTech Academy does. A for artificial intelligence, B for the blockchain technology. Okay, blockchain technology, C for cloud and cyber. You don't embrace the management tools. You find that we also always emphasize more. Sometimes we are so excited and rush for it, and we forget that we must do our necessary risk management and, of course, cybersecurity. So we may build a very strong infrastructure and technology, but let's not forget about RegTech. All right, the regulators should be scrutinizing the regulations and the AML and KYC. So with all these, we find that we are able to do much more faster, faster, as well as more impactful. My clicker doesn't work. Can you move? Okay. So when we talk about blockchain, we want to talk about blockchain technology. And I was just telling you that, for example, if I want to send my food from Vietnam prawn farm or lobster farm all the way to US, UK, Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, if we can use blockchain technology, you can actually track the whole process. So you find that this is essential. The technology enables you to the right to. So in order to track, lies on gone beyond just the finance technology. All right. So what did we learn? We learned that the franchisor is able to not only track but able to gain insights. You find that LV or you're bringing Chanel, you're bringing. You can also use blockchain. So you see, blockchain can be used in detailing as well. You find that this is a very important use when we apply FinTech beyond financial and finance industry. In Singapore, we are very, very conscious that our startups may have a brilliant idea, a brilliant invention. So how do you protect these people? In Singapore, we formed something called IPOS. This is the government's initiative. So in IPOS, the intellectual property is protected. So like myself, I immediately go to IPOS, I put FinTech Academy as my trademark. It's protected. Protected not just in Singapore, but international. So like, for example, I have got a country manager in Vietnam. So the country manager cannot set up his own FinTech Academy, but he can work with me, and then he can be FinTech Academy Singapore country manager, and then FinTech Academy Singapore works hand in hand with Alliance Academy in Vietnam. It's possible. All right? But what I'm saying is we must learn to protect our intellectual property too. So in Singapore, usually when you want to trademark something, it takes you a long, long time. Maybe it takes you 1 year, 2 years, it may cost you $100,000. But no, with IPOS, it's green lane. We get our trademark done almost within 2 days. All right, very fast and very cheap. So for entrepreneurship, we want to look at our entrepreneurs' pain points. How do they solve all these problems? And in Vietnam, your e-commerce is so impressive. What did Jack Ma say when he wants to go and do e-commerce? Jack Ma says, don't worry, just need 2 servers. And he did it. He just had 2 servers and he has got the whole thing in place. And the single day sales brought in sales for the next 10 years, for the last 10 years. So with FinTech, there's a lot we can do together. And again, I'd like to thank the organizers, the ministries, as well as the People's Committee for having us this opportunity to work with you. Thank you very much.